Hi guys and welcome to Unacademy. This is lesson 2 on Proverbs for Expressive English where we'll be dealing with the proverbs related to money. So basically it's coins and dollars in this lesson and this is presented to you by me Setu Dixit. Here's more about me. I'm a dentist and work as a research intern with the Central Drug Research Institute, also a content developer for English for competitive exams and a CSC aspirant as well. And you can follow me on the given Unacademy user link below to know more about my courses. Please do like, rate, review and recommend the lesson. Okay, beginning with our lesson now. A penny saved is a penny earned. Now, this is a very common proverb, and I'm sure all of us have heard it from our parents, grandparents, saying, emphasizing, and then keeping on repeating it over time and again, the importance and need for saving money. And this proverb, it does the same. It focuses upon the importance of saving money, and according to it, saved money is not more, then at least it is equally important as earning it, because in the times of crisis money is your biggest support, right? And if you, like, god forbid, if you lose your source of income, then the savings that you've already incurred, or the savings that you've already made, are your biggest source of strength. You can depend financially upon them, right? Okay, so look at example now. After losing his job, did he realize that a penny saved is a penny earned? Now, this is a situational example where a man has been described as like he has lost his job and now he has to depend upon his savings. So, it is this time that he realizes that, oh, yes, it was right that a penny saved is a penny earned, right? I hope you are clear with the idea of this. Okay. Now, coming to the second proverb, lend your money and lose your friend. Now, this is a life lesson, and all of us will have to learn it sooner or later because this is the truth of life, right? Now, the meaning is that when you give money to a friend, you risk your money as well as the friendship. Because, see, the friend is not going to return your money without you being asking for it. Because, see, he considers you as a friend, so he doesn't think it is as important to return your money, at least in a time bound manner, as it is for other people or other sources that he has borrowed from. So he will not return it unless you ask, and if you ask, then you risk the chance of losing the friendship that you shared. So it is a kind of, like a muddled up, messy situation. Okay, now looking at example now. Since I gave money to Julia, I'm running on a double-edged sword. Lend your money and lose your friend. Now this is called as a double-edged sword because, see, one side, at one hand you're losing your money, and if you ask for it, then you are sure to lose your friendship as well. So it is a double-edged sword. Okay. The third proverb now, he who pays the piper calls the tune. Now, the basic meaning of it is that the major decisions of life in a household, in a society, or anything in general is basically made by the person who holds a financially stronger position. Or, to put it in simple words, the one who earns is the one who makes major decisions, right? Okay, looking at the meaning now, decisions are made by those who earn. For example, my brother isn't letting me go to that college trip. He who pays the piper calls the tune. Now, see, I want to go to that college trip, but my brother isn't letting me go, and I cannot do anything about it because he who pays the piper calls the tune, right? Because he is earning, he is the one who will be sending me, and he'll be the one who will sponsor that trip. So if he doesn't feel it right, then I am not able to do anything about it, right? So this is what it is all about. Okay, coming to the fourth proverb now, out of debt, out of danger. Now this is more of a more than a proverb. This is basically an idiom or a phrase, and it is true as well, right? Because once you're out of debt, you're out of danger, because it is, debt is like a major liability on your head. That is one major financial liability that you are bound to repay, and once you're out of it, the danger automatically is out of your way, right? So the meaning is, when you don't owe money to someone, you're safe, right? And the example here is, since I repaid the education loan, I feel relieved. Out of debt, out of danger, right? So this was a simple one. Coming to the next proverb, if you don't speculate, you can't accumulate. Now, see, one, the first one which we dealt with was like you have to save money, and like saving money is equal to earning money. But here in this proverb, it says if you don't speculate, you can't accumulate. Now, with respect to speculate, the meaning here is basically risking it, as in like there's an if in life, right? So this is what the proverb is about. If you do not take risk with your money, the money won't grow, and if the money won't grow, you won't be able to accumulate it, because no matter how hard you try to save, there are expenses that you cannot avoid, right? So this is what it means. To make big gains, you'll have to take the risk of spending money, right? See, if you want to be a rich businessman, you'll have to spend your money in some ventures. Even now, the venture may be successful or not, that depends on time, only time can tell that. But you'll have to take that risk and spend your money in that. Only then will you be able to make big gains, right? So example here is, every rich businessman once took a huge risk. You have to speculate to accumulate, right? Okay, coming to the next one now. A golden key can open any door. Okay, so here a golden key is used metaphorically. It doesn't literally mean a golden key, right? Because a golden key here basically implies to money or monetary returns or monetary gains or something including money, right? Anything can be accomplished through money, and everybody in India knows that, right? Whether right or wrong or true or false, anything, everything can be achieved only if you have money. We have all seen rich people earning big degrees even when they are literally like illiterate or equal to illiterate, but then they become some really educated, well, they hold some really big degrees. So this is all possible through money, and no doubt India is one of the most corrupt countries in the world, right? So a rich man's problems never last long, because a golden key can open any door. You know it, right? Because when you have money, no problem is big enough. Money can handle almost everything, right? I hope you're clear with this. Coming to the next one, beggars can't be choosers. Now we've all heard it, right? This is a very common proverb. It simply means that when you don't have options, or when you're not financially strong, then you won't have any option to choose. You'll have to accept whatever comes your way, right? Those who don't have an option will have to accept what is offered. That is true. And not just in money, like it's the same with the marks also. Suppose you got really low marks, you scored really less marks in an exam. Suppose that was an entrance exam, so you will definitely not be able to get into a college of choice, because you'll have to accept whatever is being offered, whatever comes your way, right? Because those who have scored better will be the one who will be making choices, and you'll have to depend upon whatever they choose not to opt for, right? So this is what life's all about. Though the quality of subsidized food grains are far from satisfactory, but the poor can't raise their voice. Beggars can't be choosers. Now all of us know the quality of subsidized food, the food that is being provided by government and other governmental agencies. But the poor have to accept it, because you don't have money, so you'll have to accept whatever comes your way, right? Okay. Now the next one is, keep a thing for 7 years and you'll find a use for it. Okay, this is actually like, maybe you don't find use for something today, right? Like right now, but maybe a time will come when that thing will come to use, right? If you keep a seemingly useless thing for a long enough time, you'll eventually find a use for it. That is what happens. It is a very situational type of proverb. Example is, that oversized dress is of no use. Maybe if I keep it for 7 years, I'll find a use for it. Maybe I don't fit it in today, or maybe it doesn't fit it on me today, but if I'll keep it for 7 years, and literally it doesn't mean 7 years, it just means a long enough time, I'll find a use for it. Okay? Now, Pennywise and pound foolish. Now, this one's, look at it closely. Being extremely careful with the small amounts of money and not caring enough for the larger amounts. It is actually like you're a minute saver. You you save money that is not really huge in amount, or you make cost cutting in areas where not a lot of money is involved and where big expenses are involved, you spend carelessly. This is what this means. Okay. Now, the expenditure cut by governments in health and education sector is a sign of them being penny wise and pound foolish. Now, what this means is, see, when the governments make cut in health and education sector expenses, they're basically making a long-term loss for themselves, because if you do not invest in health and education, the consequences are very severe, right? You'll have to face them in the future, and that will last for a very long time, right? Okay, coming to the next one. Of the wealth of the world, each has as much as they take. Very philosophical proverb now. The real measure of your wealth is your worth after you've lost all your money. That means literally money does not hold any value, because once you've like lost everything, you'll realize that, oh, people respected you just because of money. So basically, according to this proverb, the real worth is the worth that you've created in society, with your kindness, with your generosity, etc. Okay. So the example is, if you think money will help you find happiness, you're wrong. Remember that of the wealth of the world, each has as much as they take. So if this was not true, then there would be, all the rich men would be happy and all the poor would be sad. But this is not the case, right? Everybody has their share of problems, be rich or poor, right? So this is what it's all about. Okay, so they were the 10 proverbs on money, and now we come on to the exercise where I'll be giving you 5 proverbs, and you're supposed to find their meanings and examples as I've done in the slides so far. Okay, so the first one is, let the buyer beware. One man's loss is another man's gain. When poverty comes in at the door, love flies out of the window. There's no such thing as free lunch. The worth of a thing is what it will bring. So you're supposed to be writing down their meanings and an example involving those proverbs, and try to remember them as well, because this will enrich your vocabulary and help you in the big run. Okay. So, okay, see you in the next lesson. Thanks for now. Bye.